Stop making assumptions.
I'm in full agreement.
Do we know an assumption? To make assumption.
Happy chaos. That's our song. Loud and wild, but where we belong. Life's a sermon, love's the verse. Blessings big and a little reverse. Happy chaos, yeah, bring it on.
Welcome to Happy Chaos.
It's gonna be so odd if you don't do that. You know, it's just part of Happy Chaos.
Is it?
Yeah.
I just feel like there's other things that make it. Anyways. You know, if that wasn't there.
Why are you raining on my parade? Why are you starting early?
Why did you have a parade?
Are you spicy?
Why'd you have a parade? This woman had a parade. It was a
surprise parade. Surprise.
Well, we're starting off early. All right, aren't we?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Is there even such a thing as a surprise parade? Is it like a
yes?
Is it like a like a flash mob, flash parade?
Yes.
We should totally start one of those. Can I move your mic down a little bit?
Why do you want to do that?
Because it was like covering your chin. It looked like this.
And covering the hair on my chin.
Like that.
I'm just kidding. I don't have hair on my chin.
Is this okay if I do it like that?
Babe, just stop. It wasn't even close to that. You're such a punk. Y'all.
Well, we're name calling and having parades.
I would say come get him, but I want him, so.
Hey, it's the day after Father's Day. We had a really great Father's Day.
Such a great Father's Day.
I feel like. I mean, of course, I said that because Kelly did a whole bunch of stuff and told me to go take a nap. So I know how to make every day better. Let me go take a nap and you do a bunch of stuff.
Oh gosh, we take naps pretty much every day.
Yeah, we're Jesus took naps. Now somebody look, here we go. I can already feel it. Somebody bristled. They're ready. They're ready to come. They're ready to come at us because they heard us say we take like a 10-minute nap after. Am I lying when I say 10 minutes? 15?
15 tops.
Yeah, I mean we're like 10, 15 minute. You know, it's a power nap.
Yeah.
Kelly didn't like those at first, but now she's with me. She gets it.
Yeah.
There's something about like a middle of the day, just like get you a little power nap.
Well, at first I was like 10 minutes, nobody, in which I can't. Like I fall asleep at the 9th minute and then it's time to wake up a minute later if I'm lucky to fall asleep at the 9th minute. And so there is that. Every time. Like I cannot fall asleep when my head hits the pillow. You say cool, but
go ahead.
You wouldn't know. You fall asleep within 3 seconds of the 10-minute nap.
Yeah, when I fall asleep, you're asleep. I've never seen you awake when I was asleep.
Anyways. Oh, gosh.
Well, it's a good reason to put her cell phone down when I say... when it's nap time. Because she'll try to like scroll. She'll be like on her phone. She'll be looking at something and I'll like put my hand over. I'm like, you got 10 minutes. You just use 5 seconds of your 10 minutes, and then it'll kind of force you to.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm working because I can't sleep. So.
But yesterday was good.
Yeah, yesterday was really good.
Yeah, we had a great day at church. So church was good.
Yeah, church was amazing. Powerful sermon, great worship, and then we went out to lunch. With
some of our children, because one of our sons couldn't make it to the evening cookout, and so he had to work. So we went to lunch with some of the kids, and then everybody came over. Well, then we went and visited my dad for just a few minutes, and then we came home and got things ready. And that's when Kelly let me take a nap, and she cooked things. And I mean, nothing's better than taking a nap when you can smell cooking happening.
Yeah, I made him homemade potato chips. It's one of his favorite things.
I do love some homemade potato chips. Mm-hmm. You can make those again today if you want.
Okay. But I also have some in a baggie. I don't know how they taste the next day, but...
You can throw them in the oven and like warm them up and it crisps them up and warms them up a little bit.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you, I love some homemade potato chips.
Well, this is Happy Chaos, where the chaos is always happy.
What episode is this?
63.
63. We're going to have episode 67. We should totally.
We're going to skip from 66.
No, we should have like
67. Just because of that.
67.
Oh, gosh, you guys.
I should.
It needs to be banned. Trump, I need you to ban saying.
I don't know why everybody hates it so bad. It's not that big of a deal. It's just
because the kids. That's all they 6, 7. I mean, you can't say anything, and it's 6, 7.
Whenever I'm in church and I say it for like a verse. Verses 6 and 7, all the kids, you can all see them. They're all squirming in their seats. You know, it's 6, 7.
Oh,
it doesn't bother me, and I don't think that it's.
I don't like it.
You know, don't come at me for this, but I don't see it as evil or whatever.
Demonic.
No, I totally like. You're talking to a guy who spent literally 2 years of his college life with a minor in cults. I studied all kinds of cult things. Never.
Did 6, 7 come up?
No, it was never there. It was never part of the conversation.
I mean, besides you have Satan's number and God's number. That's it. That was funny.
That's not even true. First of all, it's not Satan's number and God's number.
That was funny though.
It's not. It's not.
I'm gonna say that when you're on stage and you're like, "That, come on, that was funny." I'm gonna be like, "It wasn't though. It wasn't."
Some people do say that to me. I hear that sometimes. But
now you deserve it.
I'm just saying that God's number is not 7.
Since you want to do it to your wife.
I'm just saying God's number is not 7.
It was still funny.
It's the number of completeness.
It was still funny.
It's the number of completion of wholeness. God uses.
Anyways, he's
7.
getting all biblically serious, guys. Let's move along here.
All right. Well, we don't want any theology this morning. Okay. All right. Theology this morning.
That's messed up. Anyways,
it's probably a podcast of its own.
In case you're listening or watching for the first time, this is Justin. I'm Kelly. Widow, married.
Just over a year and a half.
We're creeping up to 2 years, babe.
Yeah, but it's just over a year and a half. Like literally right at a year and a half.
But we're creeping up.
Kelly loves to live in the future.
No, I don't.
This is the
Not
thing.
anymore, I don't.
She does. She loves to live in the future. She loves to like whatever's next. You know, she's ready for the thing that's next. Whether that's a trip. You know, she's the type that if we're going to have a trip, she'll pack a week early before the trip.
I had to learn to not do that with him because, yeah, it's just, he's a last minute Joe, you know? So he's like, oh, we're leaving at 2 a.m.? Well, it's midnight, so let's start packing. And I'm all right.
Well, I mean, your other option is to pack all the stuff that you use every day into a bag.
That's not true.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like to me. All the clothes that I want to wear the week on vacation, I also want to wear the week I'm not on vacation. So I don't want to pack them in a bag and then live out of that.
He's become a creature of habit like me.
Well, maybe to some degree. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm rubbing off on you.
Maybe to some. Yeah, I was going to say to some degree. No, in a lot of degrees. Like you are.
I know.
Like rubbing off. But I think I'm rubbing off on you too.
For sure.
Do you all think that couples start to look like each other after a little bit?
We get a lot of people saying we look alike.
I know. And I think that happens. Like I see people.
Maybe my eyes will turn blue.
I don't think it works like that. You're not going to like metamorph, you know. But I think it probably has to do with, okay, so I did this thing a while back. I looked into mirror neurons.
Yep.
And that really is a thing. And I can't unsee it. You should look into mirror neurons and then start paying attention, like watching for them, watching for people. There's this thing that happens if you do something or if somebody else does something, you'll do the same
for sure.
Body language. If they're like if they're sitting at a table across from you and they're like taking their straw and kind of like, you know, touching the rim of their, all of a sudden you realize when you're talking, you start.
If you start swaying around somebody, back and forth.
Did I tell you that I was sitting? Where was I that I was sitting with?
Elders meeting, maybe? I don't know who you were sitting with.
I don't know. We were in these like rocking chairs or swing chairs. And as we were, it was me and another dude. And we were like, as we're talking, I've realized we're swaying at the same speed. And like our heads are, and I literally stopped. I was like, I got to stop. I can't be.
This is
like,
weird.
Yeah, this just became weird when I realized what was happening. Anyways.
Like you guys were skipping and holding hands down the street.
It felt that. Like? I mean, to a certain degree, it did feel that way. Like a very happy music.
Yeah.
You know, could have been playing.
Yeah.
Some oboe music could have been playing around the swinging.
I want to say things, but I can't. Maybe we'll save that story for like Happy chaos tells all.
Oh man.
Who would be in favor of a happy chaos tells all?
Everybody.
I know everybody, but there'd be a lot of like probably hurt feelings.
Probably. Not me, I don't think.
No. And not like because it's personally against anyone.
It's just because it's
Just
funny.
because it's controversial.
Yeah, and it's funny.
It is funny. All
Okay,
right.
but hang on. I was going to say, I think
Yeah.
that mirror neurons, I think that happens on your face a little
Yeah.
bit. Like, I think people who are
Happens on your face.
are near each other, I think like maybe you start smiling similarly, or maybe your eyes
Smile
flutter or blink at the same type of, like I bet you'll kind of
at the
pick
same
up on,
speed.
well, maybe not the exact same speed at the same time.
You just
but
blinked because I blinked. I'm sorry. Keep going. I'm sorry.
you sniffled after I sniffled. It really is a thing.
I know it is.
Anyways, but I think that has something to do with it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
What do I know? I'm just saying
I
that
think so too.
I do think that people start to look alike, though. If you really start looking at couples,
For sure.
especially ones who've been together for a long time, you can kind of see that they should be together. I almost want to like do a test one day and get a bunch of couples that have been together for a long time, and then somebody that doesn't know any of them,
Yeah.
and then see if that person who doesn't know them could pair them up by
Yeah.
the way that they look.
That's a good idea. That'd be fun.
I bet they could do it.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah. But somebody's probably already done it.
I'm sure, but it would be fun for us to do.
Yeah.
All right. I want to bring something up. Someone told me yesterday that I should start a women's podcast and kick him out of it. No, I'm just kidding. We still have Happy Chaos.
Yeah, you weren't.
But-
Nobody's saying get rid of Happy Chaos.
Yeah. But if I start like, because he's got off the pulpit. And so, yeah. What do you guys think? Should I start a women's podcast? Who would listen to me?
I can't believe you brought that up because I don't know. I think I've started to say it and I feel like, oh, I should probably not say it. I just don't know that you would do it on your own. Like, I don't know that you would be, I think you'd be nervous to.
I'd be very nervous, but that's why I would always have a guest. I would have a new guest every week. And we talk about different things, different womanly things.
I mean, I'm not against it. If there's like a look of like, am I against it? I'm for it. I think it'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that to a certain degree, Kelly and I were talking about this maybe a couple of weeks ago. I said, I don't fully understand, but I think I have a grasp on it that, I think when it comes to me and people, I think when people talk to me, they want to talk, I'm going to call it business. They want to talk church business. They want to talk theology. They want to talk counseling. There's an issue, there's a thing, there's a whatever, there's a sermon, I'm a pastor. And by being a pastor doesn't mean like, oh, I work as a pastor. Like my life 24/7, 365 days a year, it never ends. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
I do. And I love church. And I don't mean to cut you off because you can finish. And I love church so, so much. I do.
yes. Yeah.
But I woke up this morning and I thought, I wonder if we could just not have Wednesday service this week. It's summer. Can we just 1 week spontaneous?
Spontaneous?
Can we just take off? Like we are at church every Sunday, every Wednesday, and then all kinds of days in between. Faithfully.
Yeah,
like we don't get to just, if you don't feel like going one day, you just don't go. If you're not feeling 100%.
Last week we had a little bit of a break, but the week before we had been 2 weeks that I had been at the church building every single day, 7 days a week for 14 days straight for at least some amount of time. That there was some amount of time that I was there doing something, meeting somebody, talking through something, whatever. And like I said, it's not even just that. It's also just the fact that there's never fully an off button. And even when we try and we say, oh, we're going to go out to eat or we're going to do this or we're going to do that, still something comes up. Anyways, my point was there's always the business.
Yep.
Business,
Yeah.
if we can say that. I hope that doesn't feel insulting. But then I feel like Kelly gets to bring the comic relief. Like she gets to bring the realism of am I right? Like do you disagree with that?
No.
Because I feel like
I just feel like I'm a little much sometimes. Like I realize I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Maybe I'm a little bit too real.
we'll call it real, sure. Mildly inappropriate.
I try to hone that in too. I try to read the room. Like, am I around? But then if I'm around other people who are inappropriate, Kelly gets wild.
Kelly can be in a room full of people that one of those people will permit something and you'll see it and they'll see it and you all will start giggling and the rest of the room is not giggling. But you...
That was me and Heather at Janet's barbecue.
I know.
It was bad. Like,
see,
it was
that's what I'm saying. You guys get to go in and I'm like, I see her over there giggling and I literally go, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Notice, do I ever come to you and go, what are you giggling about? Tell me. No.
One time, but...
And then I realized, nope. Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Yeah. And I can't go back in time and make her take it back. And if you try to tell her to stop giggling... Well, then she becomes about 11 and she can't stop giggling.
It was so bad.
You just have to let her giggle.
Like my face turns beet red and I am hysterical to the point where I just have to put my head in my hands and don't look at me and certainly don't talk to me. Because as it is, when I'm in this moment, I'm replaying our conversation and I can't stop. It's just, it's a.
Oh, I know.
But I try.
So I feel like I'm by myself without Kelly. I mean, by myself, I'm without Kelly and somebody's around and we come back together and she's like, well, what'd you talk about? And I'll tell her what we talked about. And it's always the serious nature stuff. And then I get back with Kelly, I'm like, well, what did you and so-and-so talk about? You know, what were y'all talking about? I say that it made it sound like it was like we're being bitter or something, but it's not like that. But we're just like, you know, what did y'all talk? How was your conversation? How was your lunch? And hers is always like all this fun, goofy. We were laughing about this and playing about that. And so I just feel like you get to be, you know what it is as dad, moms always say like dads get to be the fun parent.
Yeah.
Which we're going to talk about some parenting.
I get to be
the
fun spouse.
Yeah. You get to be the fun spouse when everybody's all serious with me all the time. And then Kelly comes around.
But I am the more fun spouse, you know. Because you're not very inappropriate.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're bad.
You're very in the box, and I'm very bad. Break open this box.
Does anybody remember the episode when Kelly asked me if I would ask her out when we were teenagers, and I was like, no, because you're bad. Like,
I wasn't a bad teenager though. I wasn't until Okay, so some of my teen years were bad.
Still got some finished work
but good
to do
bad,
over there.
You know? Like I wasn't like a bad girl. I was just Yet he asked this bad woman to marry him.
Oh yeah. For sure. And then I was like, oh man. I was just kidding. I hope y'all know. See, I say stuff like this and I'm going to get a call later and somebody's going to be like, you're making Kelly look bad. I'm not trying to make Kelly look bad. I love Kelly. I've married Kelly. Y'all, we love this. This is our time. Like we love our podcast. So
there might be some some restrictions he'd like to.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, when he's serious, I know to kind of snap out of it a little bit. I'll toe the line then instead of
Or get mad at me.
Anyway,
she always did this thing. She'd be like, "What's wrong with that?" You know, whatever she said. What's wrong with? I always know that when you say that, you know exactly what's wrong.
I'm still failing to see what's wrong with that.
Okay,
but guys, I am not like spending our money, and I'm surprised I haven't heard this rumor yet that we're selling our house because we can't afford the mortgage because Kelly spends so much.
I've not heard anybody say that.
So put that one in your back pocket.
Yeah,
somebody can use that one.
I realized the other day somebody did say something that I was like, oh, I don't want that. So I'm trying to combat this one.
Yeah.
Because you guys have to understand, like, this is in jest. Like, we're playing. If there was legitimately a problem with something Kelly was purchasing, and ask her this for yourself without me ever around when you guys are joking, ask her this question. If I have an issue with something, will I let it go?
No.
No, like I will come to you and say, hey, like this might upset you, but we legitimately have to do whatever.
He'll say, are you in a place that I can talk to you?
Yeah, that's right.
And I'll be like, oh, prepare my heart. Go ahead.
Literally exactly like that. She'll be carrying a laundry basket and she will make that noise kind of like a trumpet, she'll, and then she'll put it down. Okay. And then I'll tell her.
Go ahead.
Right.
Say what you got to say. What did I do wrong?
Yep.
What did I do?
That's the thing. That's
Principal.
And yet I still come to her and say, this is the thing. So what I'm saying to you is, like
gosh.
the joking, it's all in jest, it's all fun. It is meant to be funny, and it is funny. There's a little bit of relationship comedy there, and it's relatability. Yes. Do I have more Amazon packages at my house now than I ever had before? Yeah, for sure. Yes. But just because Kelly chooses to buy that whatever thing on Amazon and I choose to go to a store and go purchase it, we had to get a volleyball the other day. And as we're talking about, we have a volleyball and it keeps going
We're
flat.
on the court.
We're playing volleyball with our family, and we have to keep a bicycle pump there beside us, and we're pumping the ball up, and then we play a couple of rounds, and then we pump the ball up and we play a couple of rounds. It's just deflating as we're playing.
So he's mid pump, and I pulled my phone out.
And she goes ahead and orders. And I told her, I was like, why are you doing that? Why don't we just run up to Walmart and we'll pick up a volleyball from Walmart? And she's like, they won't have cute options like I can get here. And then now we're waiting a week because she wanted a pink and orange one for Happy Chaos. So
It's super cute though.
I'm curious if it's going to be, for me, it's quality, because you can get a junk volleyball and nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. But
Anyways,
it's cute.
my point is that, and the same thing, this is another point about spending. We brought a lot of people into the house.
Yeah.
We equivocally doubled the household size, maybe just under double, but still that's beyond the point. Like we equivocally doubled the household size.
The household size, yes.
When you and 3 girls
Yeah.
moved in a year and a half ago, that's 4 more people in a house that had 5 people.
Yes.
So, now we have 9 people in the same house. And I know y'all like, I thought you had 9 kids. 2 of mine are grown and moved out at that point. And so you have 9 people in a household. There's going to be more items to come in and out of the household. So, there's whatever we're getting for ourselves, we now have to double that number for groceries, for milk, for, makeup or whatever. I mean, there's a bunch of girls in the house, so there's all the girly things that come with that.
Yep. One of them needs a shirt. Guess what? They all need shirts.
Yeah. And,
One of them needs socks. Guess what? All of a sudden their socks are missing and we all need to buy a pack of socks.
or all kinds of things.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter of, there's no wonder that there's more things that have to happen.
Yeah.
And anyways, I say all that to say it's a joke. Like it's funny because it's real. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing. Yes, there's a lot of Amazon packages.
And I think we're missing an element here that I haven't thought of.
Oh.
Do you know the gas that I'm saving by shopping on Amazon?
Oh man, so much. She saves me so much. Now I can't find the account. I don't know where it's going, but
It's staying in the account
yeah.
instead of coming out of the account.
Yes. Yes. And
Gas
you can actually
savings.
every time you buy on Amazon, you can go ahead and buy a little bit more because you didn't spend the gas.
If I don't want to save the gas, yes, but I save gas money when I buy these things on
Yes.
Amazon.
Our savings has gone way up since you've been shopping on Amazon.
Yes.
It looks way better.
Oh, I can't with him.
You have been saving so much.
I really have. In fact, I saved so much it paid for our trip in the beginning of summer. It'll pay for our trip at the end of summer.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I do.
Anyways,
let's read some comments.
yeah, for sure.
Let's hear what the people have to say.
Yeah, we've spent a lot of time joking.
We just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. Tell me who it's from. Whatever. One of
Leah
these days-
Taylor.
You sound like the narrator on SpongeBob. 5 years later.
Oh, I was trying to sound like a announcer at a college graduation.
Yeah.
You said tell us who it's from.
Right,
so
but it wasn't exciting.
All right,
I need you to hype
I
up
will
the
announce the
crowd.
person. You can read the comment.
All right, hype us up.
Leah Taylor.
Can Leah Taylor please come to the customer service desk? Your parent is waiting for you.
All right.
All right, Leah Taylor. See, the voice inflection there was like a
Right. No, she's got it.
excitement.
Go ahead.
But what if on Amazon you buy it used like new equals thrifting? Leah, you are a genius.
The timing of that
You
comment.
are a genius.
The timing of that being the first comment.
I'm going to start looking for used like new, and then it doesn't count because thrift store money doesn't count. And so,
hold on. That's actually, I started to say that.
on to the next comment.
hold on.
Leah,
Wait. I started to say that earlier and I didn't get to finish it. Hold on. Wait. You brought up a good point. First of all, the reason that won't count as thrifting is because we have Salt and Light Thrift that supports our school.
Yes.
And the prices are they really are super good.
Yeah, they are.
So, I mean, in all genuineness, if we're getting something that is needed, clothing or whatever, we've have furniture that has come from the thrift store and it's all been super great prices. So that legitimately is saving.
Here's a little shameless plug. They have $5 tables right now.
Yeah. Tables.
$5 kitchen tables.
Yeah. It's because there's so many, there's so much they're trying to move things through. But here's the thing. Everything that's being purchased is going into, right now it's summertime, so it's going into an account, but it is all going to fund the school. And if you're watching this and you're saying school, what are we talking about? Our church has a school that does not charge tuition. And so this is one of the ways to offset that cost of not charging tuition to the parent or to the students. We have this thrift store. And so somebody made the point, they said, when you're doing that, like when you're fussing about Kelly spending and you're making it sound like she's spending so much, you're making people think you don't want them to go to, like, you don't want Kelly to go to the thrift store. And doesn't the thrift store support the school? And I'm like, well, that is kind of a good point. Again, I think you've missed the point that it's a joke.
Right. And you have that, but then you have someone else saying Kelly's spending turns off other people to want to donate to the school.
Yeah.
Because if you're living this lavish lifestyle, but you have a school that you need to pay for.
Our lavish lifestyle with 7 children in the house and a $76,000 a year salary.
That's lavish.
That's my lavish lifestyle.
Yeah.
We are
living it up.
Yeah. I'm telling you what, 2 Broncos.
And here's the thing, you guys. Stop jumping to conclusions on everyone else's life. Focus on your own life. If you don't want to donate to the school, if your heart does not want you to donate to the school, if you're in a place where you're just like, no, I'm not donating to that school. Kelly goes and gets her nails done. I'm not donating to that school. Then don't. That's your heart. That's your heart.
That's Kelly's.
That's not
cue.
me.
That's Kelly.
That's not anyone else. You have to go higher now and make it more obvious. No, it's very simple. Stop making assumptions.
I'm in full agreement.
Do we know what assumption? To make assumption.
Happy chaos. That's our song. Loud and wild.
And we're back.
I wasn't really going to say it.
I didn't know. So,
but you edit these things, if Kelly gets too wild.
Whew. I got close.
Don't assume. Anyway. All right, back to our comments.
Whew.
Leah Taylor also said, car detailing supplies, I'm howling, used on dish soap. She said,
Wait, I still don't understand that one. I've read that earlier. Are you howling because you're saying you shouldn't use Dawn dish soap?
You shouldn't use Dawn dish soap.
Or are you howling because you're like, don't go waste your money on car wash. You can just use regular soap. Any soap will do it.
What her following comment, that tells you what she means.
She says, I'm sorry. I realize you don't know that Kelly and I's personalities are likely Oh.
We need to focus in on your face for that.
Well, now we know.
Oh,
all right. Well, Dawn dish soap will work just fine,
No,
y'all.
it leaves a film on your windows. that you just can't get off.
Yes, you can.
I'm going to wash his truck today with Dawn dish soap.
Go wash it, and then let's wash it, and then clean off the windows with some Windex. Just clean the windows. You got to clean the inside, anyways.
I'm going to move along.
I mean, I'm not saying use like Dawn spray and wash. Like that probably would leave a residue.
I mean, that would be like a car wash. You should do it.
No, well, you probably
Why?
could. It just take a lot of. I mean, at that point, you might as well buy the car wash. It's a lot. But if you can get like $2 Ajax Dawn or whatever, like squirt that down in the bucket. You got some suds. Get the dirt off your car.
Oh boy! All right, let's move on. David Eaton says we lost the family friendly rating for a second there.
We about did here again. The timing of these comments today. I mean, we were that close a moment ago. We were right
Dying
there.
laughing. I'll take the win in the roast category, but Kaylee already has us in a bit of a hole there, so there's still some catching up to do. Happy Father's Day, Justin, and all the dads who secretly watch. We know you're here.
Yes, we do. Men, just jump in. Listen, it's Happy Chaos. It's both. It's guy and girl. It's not just girl stuff.
Yeah,
It's not all pink. You know what I mean?
exactly. Real men wear pink, though.
I like
Real men watch Happy Chaos.
I mean, a color is a color. I don't think something weird if I see a guy in pink. Now, if I see a guy in girls' clothes that are pink,
there's something wrong.
there's something wrong. But I saw a guy the other day outside of a church. They were all like working, like on the parking lot or something. And this dude had like a bright pink shirt on. I promise.
The prettiest, brightest pink shirt, and the other ones had yellow neon.
Yeah, I think.
And I'm like, I love that.
You know what I thought to myself when I saw
What?
his shirt? I was like, that poor man is colorblind. And everybody went and bought yellow shirts. He thought he bought a yellow shirt and he bought a pink shirt.
No, it's probably breast cancer awareness.
Oh, it probably is.
Yeah. Which that's a whole nother thing I don't want to get into.
Jody Ballard said, I'm in love with Amazon.
Me too.
It tracks, Jody.
We should have bumper stickers that says, I'm in a secret relationship with Amazon.
No. Ew. Ew. Don't do that.
Anyways, she said, Justin, I hope some cool looking men's boots in your size come in the thrift store soon. Kelly, you message me and I will buy them for him.
See, yeah, you wouldn't have to buy them from the thrift store. She could get me, what would they be at the thrift store? $3?
$5, I think.
$5?
Maybe.
I mean, $5 goes to the school and it's only $5. But you know what? If cool looking boots came into the thrift store, I'd be like, all right, at least we're not spending hundreds on boots that I don't want.
But here's the thing, like a man's used boot.
Ooh, it's like a bowling shoe. You got to really question what you just put your foot into. Yeah.
Especially a boot.
Yeah, because boots don't breathe, y'all. You guys who tried to lie to me, and you're like, boots are so comfortable. Well, I have a pair now, and they're not
He doesn't
great.
have a real pair, though. I'm working on it.
What do you mean I don't have a real pair?
It's kind of a generic pair, and so
What do you?
I'm
you
gonna
mean
buy him
generic
some-
in brand.
yeah, I'm gonna buy him some Justins.
Who cares about brand?
You can tell.
Nobody can tell.
I bet you Paul can tell.
I guarantee you he could not. You could take mine and put them just beside the air rats.
100% Paul can tell.
No, he couldn't. You could put the air rats right beside mine. You couldn't tell. Couldn't tell. And you know what? I tried on the other ones and they were just as uncomfortable.
Well, they're coming your way. So,
And I can't have it.
Justin
I
wants
can't
a
have anything with
Bronco
a.
too.
I can't have anything with a pointy toe.
No, I'm gonna make sure it's square.
It's got to. I mean, seriously, like that.
I like
point.
mine super pointy.
I know, but I'll get ingrown toenails.
Yeah,
You better get that 2 sizes big if you're gonna get pointy toes on.
but I like square on men. Jody also
Wait.
said,
Did she say she said Justin wants a Bronco too? Yes, Jody. Now we're talking. Now I feel like boots and a Bronco kind of go together.
I tried to get him to go get a Bronco this week, and he didn't want one.
We were just gonna go out
On
and
our
go buy one.
$76,000 salary.
We were just gonna go out and go buy one. She did try to rent one for the day for Father's Day.
No one does that.
Yeah,
Maybe we should buy one and we'll make it a business.
car rental places. You know what my son-in-law said yesterday, which I thought was a really great idea.
What?
You know what I got for Father's Day?
What?
I wanted a water hose that's like a kind of it's kind of a knit. It's a no tangle deal, and so it's kind of expensive water hose. And so I wanted 100-foot one, and I wanted one that doesn't that can't kink. And I say don't tangle, but can't kink. And also like some nice fittings. I really like those. I told y'all before about the little the little fittings. Anyways, my daughter, my two oldest daughters and their husbands, they got that for me, the water hose and the sprayer. And he made the comment, he said, they should make those sprayers to look like guns. He was like, they should make the sprayer to look like a handgun or like a rifle or a machine gun. And you hook your water hose up to it and you can like spray the car with like a AK.
Until the cops are being called.
I was like, I think there's a business idea right there. I think that's the most genius idea. I need somebody with a 3D printer. You just make.
You have a brother-in-law with a 3D printer.
I don't know if he's got a big one like that. You could probably do that. He could probably do a handgun one.
Yeah.
And so you pull the trigger, bam, shooting water. You just
that is pretty cool though.
That would be.
Except that the cops will probably be called.
I mean, it's hooked up to a water hose that's spraying water on your car. I don't think.
I know, but you got neighbors that.
There's a guy having a drive-by on his own car. We live in a rough neighborhood.
Until it gets spicy and you want to spray me, he's shooting his wife.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if that'd get demonetized on Facebook.
Facebook that's not paying us anything. Don't get me started.
She's mad. She's mad.
I'm big mad.
They dangled a carrot and then we took the bait. And
we fulfilled.
They didn't pay up.
Whatever.
She's mad. I'm kind of mad too.
Yeah. Jody says that no spend week, you come here to my house in Florida. I'll pay your airfare. Problem solved.
All right. I'm down. You get free airfare and spend no money. It's a no spend week for me.
You want me gone?
Oh, see, I knew it. I knew you were going to twist this. Don't you do it. Don't you start. You better quit.
Jody, I'll send you the dates.
Mm-hmm. Bull. I ain't sending you no dates. Kelly and I don't spend the night apart.
Nope. Not even for a good time in Florida. We'd be dangerous together, me and Jody.
How about a no spend week? How about that?
On to the next comment. Jody Ballard, happy Father's Day to you, Justin.
Do you want to know what I didn't
here in this podcast?
You want to know what I didn't get for Father's Day? A no spend week.
I meant to make you a coupon book.
Well, you didn't. I didn't get a no spend week or a nap in the hammock, but you did let me nap.
Yeah.
You encouraged me to nap.
She literally said, "It's coming."
She literally said one of your gifts. She sent Mila down to say one of your gifts is a nap. So,
yeah, it was with me. He was stuck with me, but
don't say that.
All right, Laura Durand. Happy Father's Day, Justin. May God continue to bless you and your sweet family.
Oh, thank you very much.
Very sweet.
B. Davis. She said, Miss B is here.
She's so cute. Vicky Q. Alls, Kelly, when you play in the pool, put a shower cap on. Y'all crack me up. I am not putting a shower cap on. I'm pretty sure my husband would leave me if I put a shower cap.
I wouldn't leave you, but I wouldn't swim in the same pool. I'd be like, all right, that's weird.
And I do get my hair wet, y'all. I do. It's just, it always happens on the day. Like, I'll wash my hair in the morning. Mm-hmm. It takes me from start of washing my hair to end where my curls and everything is done. It takes me about an hour and 20
I'm certain
minutes.
that somewhere in her life, she shot down a guy by telling him she had to wash her hair. I can't go out. I got to wash my hair.
No, never. Anyways.
I've never seen anybody.
Donna Butler wondering if this is truly all banter or a real spending problem. I'm glad you asked.
Oh boy, Donna, here we go. She's coming at you.
Even if it was a spending problem, Donna, it would be my husband's spending problem and my spending problem.
You're my spending problem.
And, he laughs and he has a good time. And so, I don't think that we have like something we need to go to a marriage counselor over. At least not yet.
No, not a financial advisor, but not a marriage counselor.
No, but for real, Donna, it's a little bit of both.
Oh, boy. Now I'm going to get a message from Donna.
Oh, I'm going to leave that one there to simmer. Jackie Keenan, what? A no spend week? Impossible. My husband says, "Oh, is that new?" And I said, "Yes, you bought you bought it for me." She also says something really funny. Where is it? She said,
Yeah, there you
no, my husband just came in and he watched you talk about the no spend week. Guess what, Justin? I have to do a no spend week.
Yeah. You talked about a no spend week, Justin. Guess what I have to do next week? And a little mad face, too.
Look what you're doing.
Jackie, I don't know if that's real. I don't know if you really have to do a no spend week, but if I say have to do no spend week, it really kind of negates it a little. It just brings it down. I say you get to do a no spend week, and you're welcome. You know, that's only a benefit to you, and so
It's not though. Anyways,
I didn't understand this one. We must have said something I forgot. Miranda Rhodes says island for sure. I've never seen Miranda Rhodes comment before. So
Me either.
Miranda, we're glad you're here. I don't remember what I said that would make sense to island for sure.
yeah.
But I'm sure it was something. I'm
Yeah.
sure it was, there's a lot of things we say. So
Carol Nerby.
also a new name.
I struggle with interrupting because I am afraid I will forget what I was going to say. Exactly.
And that makes sense. I
Yeah.
get that. I mean, I think there's a grace side to say, hey, like I know I have a pet peeve, but I also know that this is a real person and a real conversation.
Yeah.
So we got to wrap this up.
You have to wrap this up.
Okay, we're done with
Hold
comment.
on. Miranda said, Miranda wrote, she made more of a comment. Nope, been there, done that. No spend week going to be a disaster because you'll end up spending more before and after. You're better to make a budget month. We actually saved money with making a competition between the kids to stick to the budget, and the winner gets the ops money at the end of the month. That's kind of a cool idea.
I mean, I think there's multiple ways to do that. I think that I still like the idea, Miranda. I'm not going to disagree with you too hard publicly, but that's okay.
Yeah, Mary.
I think you could end up spending more if you didn't plan right. Then I think you could end up spending more. But if you can save it by budgeting it, then it's just a way of budgeting. I had a person years ago. I wanted to do a dollars and dimes savings account, and the idea, this was back when cash was still a thing, and it was whenever you got a $1 bill or a dime, you put it in a jar. That was the deal. So and you can't like try to rework it so that you don't get them or whatever. If you get change somewhere and you get a $1 bill or a dime, all $1 bills and dimes go in the jar, and you have a dollars and dimes savings account. I had somebody tell me that was so financially bad, that was such a bad idea, blah, blah, blah. That was going to cause this, was going to cause that. I just needed to make a budget and stick with the budget. I'm like, I do have a budget, and I do stick with a budget. And you know that.
Yeah.
Like, I have a budget, and I stick with it.
Yeah.
And so this is not a budgeting problem. It's kind of what I call an extra. Anyways, I let that advice sit for a little while, and maybe a couple of years later, I finally did it. I had this dollars and dimes savings account. I saved like $900 that year in dollars and dimes, and had that money to use, all from $1 bills and dimes.
Yep.
And I didn't feel it anywhere else. It didn't
Yep.
cause any other problems. It was really a good thing. Now, that'd be a very hard thing to do now. But I have the same thing with Roundup now. I use an app called Acorns to round up. And that just keeps doing that. So that just keeps increasing in money, and it takes it and invests it, and it's just, rounding up. We don't even feel it. We literally don't even think about it.
Yeah.
It happens, quarters and, 50 cents at a time. So
Yeah, I love it.
anyways.
Mary J. Self says we need to go on YouTube to look at the comments.
Oh, we probably should do that too.
I know.
Yes. Okay. Well, we have spent 43 minutes on comments.
No, we haven't. It was a 23 minutes. So
Yeah.
we spent 20.
You're right.
We were bantering in the beginning.
You're
so
right. But
there's
you're
that.
trying to look at comments on YouTube, aren't you?
I am.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well,
art, it's spinning. Oh, there we go. Your videos.
yeah.
Hold up. Let's find Happy Chaos.
You're under short videos.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm a bit of a boomer sometimes.
I know. That's a good thumbnail.
Look at me laughing there. I'm always laughing. Someone said y'all crack me up.
Okay. We're doing something new right here, right now at the 44-minute mark.
7:30 Evie says y'all crack me up. Thank you.
7:30 Evie. I'm going to call you Evie
Yeah.
because the 7:30 seems like it might just.
Catherine Cece.
Hey, Catherine. She said, Happy Father's Day.
Aw. She also said, I asked Google why I couldn't see current Happy Chaos podcast on Facebook, and it said you are now on YouTube for future podcasts. I'm confused. You just said on here that you want comments on Facebook. Is Google wrong? Google's very wrong.
I replied to that.
Yeah.
I did see that come through. So, yeah, Catherine, and this is for anybody else as well.
That's strange that it's...
Yeah, I don't know why it decided to say that, but AI does stuff like that. Sometimes it just makes some assumptions. There's a guy on Instagram that's kind of getting pretty big. His account's getting pretty big, and all he does is like messes with AI. He kind of like argues with it and gets it to kind of shows that it's not like the be all end all answer. Anyways, but Catherine, I've replied to you there, but I'll just say it here again. So what we've created is a kind of an umbrella, and the umbrella ministry is Pastor Justin Walker. So Pastor Justin Walker is the umbrella that has everything underneath of that name. At least this is kind of the visual workflow that we have. So in our marriage ministry, we have the Happy Chaos side. That's Kelly and I together.
Yep.
And so we have plans, more things coming. You all know that we're working on a book right now. So we're trying to get that done this year. I wanted it to be done last year, but books are hard, y'all. Anyways, life's hard. But
we're literally planning helping to plan 2 weddings in the next 3 months.
Yes.
One of them being 3 weeks away. We have a grandbaby being born today.
Literally today.
Another grandbaby being born in the end of September.
We don't talk about the chaos side of Happy Chaos enough.
I know.
I mean, we kind of joke and banter and stuff, but there's a lot that happens with such a big family.
A lot happening.
Yes. We've got, yeah, I'm not trying to get into all that, but we have a whole lot going on.
Yeah.
So anyways, the umbrella ministry is Pastor Justin Walker. The marriage side of that is Happy Chaos. And then I've got the Bible teaching, which is The Whole Truth. And then now there's the new podcast with it's kind of more church related conversations, but it's still podcast, not just teaching the Bible, but a podcast of, me and some of the guys from church, which is why somebody brought up Kelly. But you can start to see too. I mean, writing a book and 2 podcasts and an online teaching ministry, plus all the social media. I met with a guy this past week from our church that's he's got a big background in videoing and like big stuff. Not what we're doing here. Like he's done professional paid things with videos, commercials and advertising and movies and things like that. Anyways, he said about social media, social media is, and Shane, if you're watching, I don't know, I'm not saying your name.
He probably doesn't watch.
Shane may watch. You don't know. Shane, if you're watching, we need you to comment because we don't know you're watching. But anyways, he said that social media is relentless. That's how he worded it. He said social media is relentless. He said you just have to constantly feed that. And it's true.
It's like sourdough starter.
Yeah.
It's not like white bread.
No. White bread will sit in the cabinet for a month. It'll
sit in the cabinet 2 months past its date.
Without any mold on, which ought to tell you, because you know what doesn't mold? Plastic. Anyways, soft plastics.
Next week on our crunchy episode.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bread is really a thing for me.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm saying all that to say that the umbrella ministry there is Pastor Justin Walker. So if you're looking for any of these things, go to Pastor Justin Walker. You can go to that as a website, pastorjustinwalker.com. You can go to on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, go to Pastor Justin Walker or at Pastor Justin Walker, and you will see those things. Like our name on Facebook says Pastor Justin and Kelly, but that page itself is Pastor Justin Walker. That's the umbrella ministry there. So yeah. I hope that made sense. I tried to say it quickly.
It does.
Okay.
It makes sense.
All right. Hey, we're getting into something a little more serious now. We read a post yesterday. Yesterday's Father's Day. Was Father's Day. And we read a post, and it sparked a little conversation between us, and we were like, hey, let's bring that onto the episode. And so specifically, because this relates to us, or we relate to this, step parenting. And we read this post that somebody wrote. I don't even know why it showed up other than the fact that.
Right. And we're not friends with this person. You know how Facebook tries to feed you things. And I think that they were just pumping it all through Facebook because it was #1 Father's Day and it was controversial. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's why they put it in front of us.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure.
This person, I'm not going to even say their name because you don't deserve to have this going viral because, yeah, you guys will see the issues that are in this. She said, Father's Day is not for stepfathers, period. I don't get I don't care who gets offended. Stop trying to squeeze yourselves into a category you don't belong in. I have a question really quick. Do you think there's more than two genders? And do you think that a man can be a woman? That's just where I want to end with that right there. But I'll continue.
That's making a big assumption. You don't know that she thinks that.
I bet you she does. If stepfathers were supposed to celebrate Father's Day, they wouldn't have called it. They would have called it Stepfather's Day. Common sense. That comment right there is what makes me think that she believes there's more than two genders.
Okay, all right. Let's stick with the Let's stick with the Father's Day theme.
He needs some controversial Kelly. And don't even try telling me I don't know what I'm talking about. I've had 7 different marriages.
I have so much to say right now. Give me this. She said, I've had 7 different marriages, which makes me more qualified than most relationship counselors. I've seen enough family dynamics to know exactly how this works. I do not allow my children to celebrate my current husband on Father's Day because he has no biological children of his own. And frankly, that's a slap in the face to their real fathers. You're right. It is hard to read when you read those. I wasn't expecting that to show up. I didn't pay attention to that. We can appreciate people without rewriting biology. Some of y'all want participation trophies so bad you're trying to collect holidays that don't belong to you. Happy Father's Day to the actual fathers. The rest of y'all can wait for Congress to make a Stepfather's Day. Okay. There's so much to unpack there. But
I want to fight her. That's number 1.
I don't know her, so I don't want to fight her. But it brings up some really good points about step parenting that I think that Kelly and I have some insight into that we can speak into this. So let's just first start off. Let's just get off the table the
7 husbands.
Well, I know who not to take advice from.
The sad part about that is in the comments, she said she talked about her future husbands.
Yes, she did say that. You read that. Yes, you said, to all my past husbands and my future husbands, plural. Like you're rolling through them.
One for every season.
Oh man. Okay, let's get out of the way the arguing with her fact. Let's just go ahead and get that off the table. I think to the things that she was saying, the reason I want to bring it up is because I think it brings up maybe the heart that some people feel, and she was, brazen enough to verbalize it so candidly. She just really opened up and laid out that I think some people maybe feel that in their hearts a little bit. And I think that there's probably some points to talk about. If you can't tell, we obviously completely disagree with the premise to say that, stepfathers are trying to squeeze their way into somewhere that they don't belong. Now, could you give me a one-off scenario? I'm saying one-off. Could you give me a exception, not the rule? Could you give me an exception scenario to say, there's this man and he's all these kind of terrible things to my kids. He's not their real dad. And he's all these kind of terrible things to my kids. And then Father's Day comes around and he expects them to make him breakfast and rub his feet and whatever. And I don't want my kids having to do those kind of things because this guy's whatever. Sure. Yes. You could potentially say that. And you personally could have some scenario that you're in that's a really terrible scenario. Mm-hmm. I would dare to say that to that post, sweetheart, you're the problem.
Yes.
Like you're blaming all these other people as the problem. I think it's very clear you have a problem and you have a mindset problem. And it might be that you have, let's get really real here. It might be that you've had 7 marriages because of stuff like that.
Right.
And that's the reason because you've got this super, gosh, I just want to say it. Like
do it.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
You got this super pissed off personality.
Yeah.
That you're mad.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said that.
That's
I feel
as
bad.
bad as he
I
gets.
I feel bad for saying it. But you do, like, you're obviously angry, and you're making this like angry post. And here's the thing, you're making this angry post from my perception about somebody that wants to be a father
Right.
to your children,
Right.
and their mom is married to you. If I put myself in their position, your kid's position, you chose to marry this man and bring this man into their lives.
That's right.
And now Father's Day comes around and you want to say, no, you don't count as their father. That's a problem. Like, you are bringing a problem there. Your kids didn't bring that problem. There are times that kids can bring the problems, but that's not one of them.
Yeah.
Your kids did not bring a problem.
Yeah.
You brought a problem into their lives, and now they have a complication that they have to work through.
Yep.
So here's what I would say. I have lots of things to say, but let's just start out with, well, actually, let me open the floor because I want to get the argument with her out of the way so we don't have to keep bringing that up. Because I think I just want to open up the can of worms to say, what about step parenting, and what about, what does that look like in our lives?
She's got to admit, I don't know her living situation. I know it's messed up, but your current husband, obviously you're living together. So my question is if he must be raising the children at least 50% of the time,
or some bit of the time,
right? So you mean to tell me that the man that's working his butt off every day to bring the money in and to support your kids, and like I said, not some one-off situation where he treats them badly, or I'm saying a man who genuinely loves the children that have been brought into his life, and you're going to strip him of that? And gosh, there's so many factors that I want to think about. What about the guy who can't have kids, but then steps up and is a stepdad? What about the guy who maybe he hasn't had 7 marriages like you, and so he hasn't had an opportunity to have children?
What about the man that comes into a life where there's been children with this woman and genuinely a deadbeat dad, and then this woman marries this man, and now this second man, assuming it's second, but let's just say this man comes in and says, I want to be what he should have been.
Yeah.
And so you've had this deadbeat dad scenario who didn't take care of anybody. And this other guy comes in and goes, you know what? I want to provide for you. I want to take care of you. I want to be a real dad to these kids. I want to be that for you. What about that guy?
Right.
I think you could give a whole lot of scenarios of bad dads. Sure. Yes. But you can also give a whole lot of scenarios of good. There's entire country songs.
Yeah.
Based on, like, they may not be my blood.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I know.
Brandon Davis, shout out.
Brandon Davis, yeah. I mean, he says that. He's like, I might not have been there when they were born, but I want to be at every ball game.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing that. I don't know the exact lyrics, but
Yeah.
I've heard the song. I think it's a sweet song. Like, because for you and I, we are in the middle of that. And
Right.
you might be in the middle of that for a different reason. We're in the middle of that because of widowhood.
Yep.
We can't help that. You might be in that scenario for a different reason. And I'm not here to get into the reason that you're in that scenario. I'm simply saying to you that if you have a man who wants to be in your life and wants to be a dad to your children and wants to be a good husband to you, you should cherish that.
Yes.
Not beat that up.
And if he's not upstanding and he is a bad person, shame on you for bringing that man into your children's lives. I'm just saying.
It's a true statement. Notice I didn't happy chaos you on that one.
Yeah.
That's a true statement.
It is.
You, mom, have the responsibility of making sure that the men that you bring into your life, or I should say the man that you bring into your life.
Yes.
That man, one, and when you're letting him around your children, that he is good.
Yes.
And if he's not good, if there are red flags, then don't put him around your children.
That's right.
Period.
Time tells all, as my husband would say. Time tells all.
Come on. Mm-hmm. It actually
and
does.
there are some one-off situations where you have someone 5 years in, 6 years in.
Absolutely.
They flip a switch.
Oh, yeah.
They finally reveal their true self, or something happens.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
They reveal what has been, I don't know, stuffed in.
Right. But that's the scenario that I go back to and say, if you're in that, and then this man comes in your life after that.
Right.
Why would you beat up on the guy
That's
that
right.
wants to help?
That's right.
So that's such a crazy thought. So,
Agree.
all right. Do you have more you want to say about her
Nope.
before okay.
Nope.
So
it's
here-
not good.
Right. But that's not the point of what I want to get at.
Yeah.
I want to get to this, which is, okay, so how do we view this, and what are we doing, and I'm not here to tell everybody what's right and wrong, what's the best. I don't know. I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle of it.
We're not here to say it's always easy either.
No. And your scenario could be something unique that I have no experience with. So we're not here trying to be the sage on the stage. We're not trying to say we have all the answers, and if you'll follow some program, it'll be like this. Simply telling you, here's how two people are doing it.
Yeah.
To the best of our ability, this is what we're doing. So for us, the first thing is we don't utilize the words step anything.
No.
Stepmom, stepdad, stepchildren, step siblings. If I address my one child to my other child, it is your brother or your sister.
Yeah.
Not your stepbrother or your stepsister. Yeah. Now, I understand that there might be times that you need to differentiate in a conversation because you're trying to communicate something. And there's been times that it's like we've looked at each other and it's like, okay, the children that you brought into the marriage,
The former Anderson.
yeah, or so, like there might be a way that we have to try to say that, but we genuinely try to avoid. I don't think we've ever really used the word step anything other than in conversations like this where we're talking about it,
right.
but never in a sense of, I've never looked at you and said, well, you're their stepmom.
Right.
And I understand the definition. If you're going to get that kind of squirrely, like, but the definition, yes, you're right. The definition is step parent.
Yeah.
But the role is the same.
Yes.
Our role is the same.
Yes.
I am dad all the way around.
It even like Kaylee was looking for Father's Day cards for you, and she found that one that was so perfect, and she loved it so much, and she went and opened it, and in the inside it said, or actually I think it was on the front, it said stepdad, and she's like, oh, maybe I could cross it out and cross out the step. She's like, but I cannot get a card that says stepdad because I don't see him as my stepdad. I see him as my dad, and I think that
that's sweet.
it is. It just tells what our views are.
Yeah.
And not that there's anything wrong. If you want to call them stepdad, bonus dad, whatever it is, we're just telling you from our point of view.
Right. And here's the thing. I want my children to want to address me. I want them to want to address me as dad.
Yeah.
If, Kaylee's 18. If Kaylee, our 18-year-old daughter, who was 17 when we got married, was she 16, 17?
17
Yeah, 17.
when we got married.
Right. 17 when we got, I had to just think about
Because
that.
she'll be 19 in September.
So when, 17 years old when we got married, if she had wanted to call me Justin instead of dad, I would not have been offended by that and still wouldn't be. If she was today to want to call me Justin, I would not be offended by that.
Yeah.
I would not be offended if she referenced me as stepdad. I would not insist to her differently.
Right.
Don't call me stepdad. I wouldn't say that. Because what I want is that Kaylee wants to call me dad. Mm-hmm. And I want to be a dad to her.
Yeah.
I want to be her dad. And so I want that. Because I want that, I'm aiming for that. So what am I doing? I'm doing everything that as best as I can to say, this is what dads do for their 17-year-old daughters.
Yep.
So this is what dad's doing. So whether that's helping her with her car, which speaking of which, I need to talk to her about an oil change. But that's I was thinking about that the other day. I was like,
Kaylee, you have a meeting with dad.
Oil change. I was thinking, I'm like, I haven't heard her going to get an oil change. I'm sure she's got an oil light that probably would come on to tell her.
Yeah.
But I know she's had to have driven enough miles.
She usually gets a regular oil change.
Oh, maybe she just didn't tell me when she's doing it or something. I was thinking about that with several of my cars. I was like, man, I got to get tires on this one, and I was thinking about stuff, and her car was in my mind. But I want to be dad to her. And what I'm saying is, for me, my role doesn't change. What I want to do doesn't change, no matter the name that you put there. But I would challenge and say, if you have a man in your life that wants to be a dad, then why not count him as that? Why not count him as dad?
Right.
It seems like you're shortchanging yourself from something that you could have. Because remember, the reverse of that is, well, there's not a man in my life that wants to be dad, that wants to act like dad, or wants to be a.
And how would you address, like I've heard people say, what if you have children that don't want and don't consider you dad or mom?
Yeah, I have a very simple answer to that. I don't live in that. I don't have that. So you have to understand, you're talking to a guy that I adopted when I was young.
Yeah.
And a very interesting adoption scenario as far as age. I was 20 when the kids came to me, when my girls came to me, I was 20. They were 10 and 2. Okay. So they were, there's a 10-year age gap between me and my oldest daughter. So in perspective, that means I taught her how to drive when I was 26.
Yep.
She moved out when I was 28.
Yeah.
So, there's a dynamic there that says I brought in 2 girls into my home and fostered and then adopted those girls. And then later in life, now I've had you and see what I'm saying there? It's hard for me to say that, but the girls that you brought into the home. So, you guys just came a year and a half ago, and I've done the same thing both times, which is this. My aim is to be the best dad that I can be. Mm-hmm. But you could confirm this with my oldest daughter. You could say this with her, and she would confirm this, because for a while she did call me Justin, and I didn't mind that. And I told her, if ever you want to call me dad, you're welcome to call me dad, but you don't have to call me dad. Well, for her, she came when she was about 10, and it was probably 14. She's about 13 or 14 years old. So she'd been with us for 3 or 4 years. And we're in the car one night, and she said, will you, I hope she's okay with me telling this, but I think she will be. I mean, she's an adult. But she said, will you make me call you dad? And I was like, make you? No, I'm not going to make you call me dad. I was like, I don't want to make you. And she just kind of sat there, and I said, honey, listen, if you want to call me dad, I want you to call me dad because you want to. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, maybe an hour later or something, we were in the house, and she came up to me and she was like, I want to call you dad. And so that was a super special, sweet moment that I cherish, that, she wanted to call me dad. Mm-hmm. And even though there was a 10-year age gap between us, I mean, I remember going out to a Red Box, and an old friend of mine came up, and he had this really shocked look on his face. And we're standing there. It was when Redbox, remember Redboxes, you'd go and rent a movie, and we were standing there to rent a movie, and it was me and Rebecca, and this, my old friend came up to me, and I'm turning around, I'm like, hey, how's it going? And he had this really crazy look on his face, kind of, I don't know, weird look. And I was like, man, is something wrong? And he leans into my ear, and he was like, Justin, where's Sarah? And he thought I was dating Rebecca, because, and I'm saying, even in that scenario, my daughter called me dad.
Yeah.
And the reason, maybe I could be wrong here, but the reason I believe that is because I assumed the role as dad, even when she wasn't calling me dad. Mm-hmm. And so here's the advice I would give to any man that's watching this. If you have a wife or children that don't want to consider you as dad, maybe they're even verbalizing that. I've heard people do that. I've heard people say, well, he's not my dad, or he's not their dad. I've heard both of those. And here's what I would give you. And I've also heard the other way too. We're talking about dads because it's after Father's Day, but I've heard the other side. She's not my mom. She's not their mom. And my point to you would be, even if everybody in your life is not giving you a title, the road that Jesus taught us is to humble yourself. And so instead of stomping your foot and demanding, you better call me dad, or what I think happens more often is, well, they don't consider me dad, so I don't act like dad. And if that's the case, I think that's the mistake you've made. This is one guy's opinion. For me, the way that I fixed it was to say, I'm going to act like dad, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, because that's what dads do. If I have a biological child who turns against me and says, I hate you, I never want to see you again in my whole life, right? If that happened with a biological child and they say, I hate you, I never want to see you again in my whole life, are they no longer my child?
No.
they're still my child.
Yes.
They could do everything that I've taught them not to do, and guess what? They can never change.
Yeah.
They can never change the fact that I'm their dad, right?
Yep.
So if that's my mindset with my biological child, that's my mindset with my adopted child.
Yes.
There is nothing that they could do that could take away that I am dad.
Right.
So if they can't run away from me being dad, then guess what? They can't verbalize me away from being dad. I'm going to be dad no matter what. I'm going to do all the things that dad does with them. I'm going to teach them and raise them and take care of them and provide for them and be there for them and support them because I'm dad. No matter what they say or do, I'm always going to try to be dad. And I think you adopted that same mentality. Like when we came, you hadn't adopted before we got married. That's all I mean by that. You hadn't adopted before then. But now you've come into the marriage and you've assumed the role that no matter what, you're going to be mom.
Yes.
And no matter what our kids do, you're going to be mom.
Yes.
And so what happened? Even before we got married, the kids came to you and they said they want to call you mom.
Yeah.
And
and some of them don't. Some of them don't call me mom, and they call me Kelly.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But your goal is to still, even if they want to call you Kelly, your goal is to still be mom.
Yes.
And not to treat anyone with some favorability and others without that favorability. We just want to treat all the same.
Yes.
And not just treat all the same. Like we want to.
Well, and it's even funny too, because, like one of them, sometimes they'll call me mom, sometimes they'll call me Kelly, one of the older ones, but gave me the sweetest Mother's Day message.
Yeah.
That I never saw coming.
Right.
That I'm doing an amazing job and they're so thankful for me, and they see me as mom, and they thanked me for coming into their lives and for doing what I'm doing and loving them so well. And it made my day. And I don't know, I think that's super important too, to get that kind of reassurance, especially as a woman, you know? And not to say any less than a man, but I'm not a man, and I don't know how men feel about that kind of stuff. And
well, I think that there's something to be said about true humility. True humility means I have the ability to demand or fight for or overpower or whatever, but I choose not to. I come under that. And you think about that, like Jesus humbled himself. Well, it's such a weird thing to think about. When I think about God, it's such a weird thing to think about God humbling himself.
Yeah.
If I think about God as awesome, that makes total sense.
Yep.
Majesty makes total sense.
Yep.
Eternal makes total sense. Humble, that one's a struggle.
Yeah.
But if you really think about it, it is the ultimate picture of humility.
Yep.
God has the authority to punish us
Yep.
or to banish us or to kick us out or whatever. But God lowered himself, became a little lower than the angels. He lowered himself and took on flesh. And then he, who could have called a legion of angels so that he wouldn't dash his foot against a stone, he went to the cross and willingly laid his life down. He said, no man takes my life from me, but I lay it down. I lay my life down, and if I lay it down, then I can take it up again. And so Christ laid his life down for us. Though he had done no sin and he had done no wrong, he was humbling himself. And the Bible even says that Jesus humbled himself. He became obedient even unto the point of death, even the death of the cross. And so if that's the example that Christ has given me, then that's the example I take as a dad, and that's the example you take as a mom, that we say, we're going to humble ourselves. We could demand whatever,
right,
but we don't. Instead of demanding whatever, we just take on that role, whether anybody's ever going to give us the credit or not give us the credit. So I'll just say this, if I was married, if you had made that post, and it was you, my wife, and you'd made that post and you said, hey, you're a stepdad. Stop trying to cram your way into a real dad's, scenario. Stop trying to squeeze your way into that. Do you know what I would have said to that? I would have said, that hurts my heart that you said that, but I'm going to try my very best to prove to you that I am a dad, that I am dad. And I would take care of them. I would take care of you like I was your husband, and like those children are my children. I would treat them in the same way. I would humble myself to not to the mean stuff. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying I would humble myself to say I wouldn't change. I guess it goes back to what I was saying earlier. I wouldn't change and be like, okay, well then fine.
Right.
You all do what you want.
Right.
No, I mean, if you don't want to have a cookout on Father's Day, or if you don't want to go out to eat, or if you don't want to give me a card or give me a gift, that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
I'm still gonna be dad.
That's right.
And I'm gonna do all the things that dad tells me that the word, the Bible tells me to be as a dad.
Yeah.
Which means that I need to be a provider, and I need to be a teacher, and I need to be an example and a role model. And that's what I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And so that's what I would continue to push for.
Yeah. I'm in full agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's, I think stepdads are, at least the ones that truly do step in, and step parents. It's not just stepdads, stepmoms that have stepped into a role, especially when there is kickback. Mm-hmm. Like I can tell, I don't think you've had kickback with any of the girls that I brought in, but you would still be the same person that you are.
When you describe, and I'm only meaning this because I don't know how to speak into that. What do you mean when you say kickback?
Like fighting,
like the kids
weaponizing.
Oh yeah.
When there's those kind of things, I think step parents, I hate to use that word, but we're talking about that.
Yep.
That step into that role, and the ones that still, love the children as if they're their own, even through the kickback or the resistance.
I go back to that example I gave earlier. If my biological children gave me that sort of kickback, and biological children do that sometimes to parents. There are children that will say, I hate my parents, I hate my dad, I hate my mom, I never want to see them again.
Especially in a world that we live in.
Oh yeah.
That children have decided that they've had it so bad, even though they haven't. I'm not talking about they were abused as children and these are horrible people. I'm talking kids that have been provided for and loved, and there's this generation coming up that is acting like they're the victim.
Well, I'll tell you what, Dennis Prager did a really cool thing, and I posted it. If you guys go to that Pastor Justin Walker page on Facebook, go back maybe a week ago.
Yeah.
And I posted something from Dennis Prager at Prager University, and he talked about I'm trying to think of how he worded it, but basically like where is this coming from? Why are we seeing this generation that is turning away from their parents, where they're deciding to cut their parents off, and they're saying that they don't want to have anything to do with their parents. And again, I know you could come to me with your exceptional scenario and tell me how exceptionally bad your parents were and how toxic they are and why you have to completely cut them off from your life.
Right.
It's an interesting thing. You probably have to go to my page. Prager University posts a whole lot, but go to our page and then you scroll down and you can see where I shared it.
Yeah.
But Dennis Prager made a really good point. He told a story. I think it was about his own dad. I can't remember. Maybe it was about somebody else, but I think it was about his own dad. And he talked about, I'm going to say it was his own dad. If I have this wrong, I'm going off of memory from a week ago. But I think he said in the video that he remembered his dad calling his grandmother, and his grandmother was this mean and bitter old woman, and that every time he'd cuss her, every week he would call her and he would check on her, and she would cuss him out. And then she would yell at him and tell him all these terrible things or whatever, and he'd get off the phone with her. And one day he asked his dad, he was like, why do you call her? She's so mean to you. Like, why do you call her? And he said, because I'm her son, and I should. The Bible says you should honor your father and your mother. I should. And I'm totally paraphrasing that, so forgive me if I'm getting that wrong in some way. But he made this point. He said, we're in a culture that has lost the idea of should.
Yes.
Because instead and he actually quoted some psychology that says there is no should. And he said, we're in this world that says, there it is right there. What? Yeah. How did that word that at the top of it? It's a red background if you want to go look at it. It says, why have so many adult children decided to hurt their parents in one of the worst ways possible? And then he has this video about all of this kind of problem that's going on in the culture where children are cutting off their parents. And it is true. I mean, it is happening. And so anyways, I'm saying, speaking of that, it's a really good video. And he talked about the culture that we'll
link it again.
Yeah. He talked about the idea of, we've lost the idea in our culture of like what somebody should do. We should do something simply because it should be done.
Yeah.
And so my point to bringing that up is, even if my biological child disowned me, ran away, wouldn't let me see my grandkids, did any of these number of things, I would still be their dad. I would still love them, and I would still want to be there for them. And even though their actions will change our relationship, that you can't help that. Every action you do is changing the dynamics of your relationship. Yes. So you can't, that's the weird thing about time, y'all. You can't go back.
Right.
You can't ever go backward and go, fix anything. You can apologize. You can try to make it right moving forward, but there's always that.
That's right.
There's always that underlying, this is what happened kind of thing.
You've tainted it.
Yeah. There's a black mark on the wall, right? There's a white wall with a black mark. And I don't care how you could have this big, gigantic white wall that's all beautiful and white. But if you got a black mark on it, you still got a black mark on a white wall. And so, that's what I'm saying about the relationship might have a scar, but it doesn't have to be severed.
Right.
And it never will be. Not from my perspective. I won't ever be the one to try to sever that relationship. Yeah. I mean, unless it was some sort of a safety concern or something,
right.
Then I guess I could see a scenario where maybe you had to. But again, my points are not, oh, these people are wrong and these people are right. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm simply trying to say your child is always your child, regardless of what they've done. They're still your child.
Regardless of biology.
So, and that's what I'm saying, of regardless of biology. So when you adopt a child, when you step into the step parent role, if you were coming to me for premarital counseling, this is what I would look at you and say. You're not just marrying that woman. You're marrying that woman and her children.
Yeah.
You are marrying her, and you're going to be a dad to those children, even if they don't want it.
Yeah.
Even if they give you kickback, as you said.
Yeah.
You still have to treat it as you are the parent. Why? Because you're the adult and they're the child.
Right.
And, they're thrust into a scenario. In our case, it was widowhood. In other case, it might be different, but they're still a child. They're being thrust into a situation that they have zero control over. They didn't get to pick that.
Yep.
I mean, imagine, would you like the idea of an arranged wedding, arranged marriage? Like, would you want your dad to arrange a marriage for you? You don't want your dad to arrange a marriage for you, right?
No.
But technically speaking, your dad could have arranged a parent for you.
Yeah.
Do you want that? Isn't it a very similar equivalent to say, like, from a child's perspective, dad just arranged who's going to be my mom, and I had no say in the matter. So the child could give you kickback. That does not take away from your role to come in and be their parent. I'm not saying come in and be their best friend. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
You may not be able to be their best friend, but you can be the role of mom or dad to that child, and you can be there for them the way that a mom and a dad should be to the child, whether or not the child is receiving that. My experience has been, if you'll step into that role and you'll fight for that role, that you'll take on that. When I say fight for that role, in other words, like you won't let somebody else dictate you out of that you will fight for that role. My experience has been that it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
And I'd never even have to verbalize it. I've never had to look at my children and say, this is what I'm doing. I just do it. And I think they reciprocate that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of words coming out of my mouth.
Don't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Oh, man.
I'm just kidding. I
gotta say it all again.
No, I think you have wisdom to speak there. You've done it twice over. And
you can't go wrong by taking the high road.
Yeah.
That's what I would say.
That's the truth. That's the truth. And, we individually are going to stand before the Lord.
Yep.
And have to answer for our actions.
Yeah. What's
come out of our mouth. And you're not going to be able to say, well, they didn't accept me and they didn't treat me right, so I cut them off, or I treated them just the way they're treating me. I've heard parents say that. You want to treat me like that? I'm going to treat you just the way that you're treating me.
Yeah.
Go for it, but you will give an account for everything that you've done.
Yeah.
And I try to, as hard as I can, to live my life according to that. I don't want to stand before the Lord, who's been so gracious to me, and say that I wasn't gracious with somebody who, even if they mistreated me over and over and over and over again, I don't want to say, I'm sorry, Lord, that I fired back and that I treated them badly because they were treating me badly.
Yeah. Think about what I made this comment earlier. I can't remember exactly how I said it, but I made the comment earlier about like, think about it from the other end. If you didn't have a man in your life who wanted to be the dad,
right,
or whatever. So just pause for a second. Here's a biblical example of this. Do you remember the story with Adam and Eve? And they ate of the fruit. And then the Lord came and he's like, where are you all? Of course he knew where they were. And they had sewed fig leaves together. And the Lord's like, what were you doing? And they said, well, we were naked and we were ashamed. He said, who told you that you were naked? And Adam says, the woman that you gave me, she gave me the fruit. And, I've heard sermon after sermon pointing out, that they both deflected. Instead of accepting what they had done in responsibility, she says, the serpent, he tricked me and, whatever. And, but that line, the woman that you gave me, she gave me the fruit. And he kind of like lays the blame on her. And I would just say of your, anyone's scenario, let's use our scenario instead of saying you're like, I'm picking on other people, our scenario. There was a moment in time when I was so overwhelmed with grief and I was so lonely. I could be in a crowded room, and I was 90% of my time crowded with conversations and people and all the other things. And yet I'm telling you, I was lonely. Loneliness is different than being alone. Mm-hmm. I was lonely, mm-hmm. and my heart was heavy. You know what? Like at weddings or events, I didn't have anybody to go with. And I deep down secretly, regretted even going, regretted being there. I'd go to somebody's wedding. I did a whole bunch of weddings in the first couple of years after Sarah had passed. I mean, I remember one year I had 11 weddings in 1 year that I did. And, of those 11 weddings in that year, I'd stay and they would have their dances and they would have their whatever. And of course we had premarital counseling. Of all of them, there was like a little tinge inside of me, a little burn inside of me that was like, I don't have that. Mm-hmm. I've lost that. And I prayed that God would deliver me from that and take that from me. And he did. And he gave me you, mm-hmm. the woman that he gave me. And could there be something in our future that maybe one of our children fights me to be dad? Yes. If I go and then do wrong by going, well, if you're going to treat me that way, I'm going to treat you whatever. Am I not equivocally saying, well, the woman that you gave me, mm-hmm. Like I prayed for this. Right. I wanted this. I wanted to get married again. I wanted to have a relationship again. I wanted all of this. And so I have a choice to look at this and say, on one hand, I could look at it and go, oh, all these complications. It's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. Or I could look at it and go, this is the very thing that I prayed for. Mm-hmm. And of course, it's going to come with complications. Everything comes with complications. Mm-hmm. Literally everything comes with complications. We just said a moment ago, we have oil changes for cars. When you have so many people and so many cars and so many oil changes, that's going to cost, to go and even if I was to do it all the work myself, it's still going to cost, a few $100s to go get all the oil changes in the cars. And, so do I get mad because I got to spend a couple of $100s on oil changes, or am I thankful that I'm blessed with cars? In the same way, that's what I say about our family. I'm blessed with you. I'm blessed with our children. Yeah, that could come with complications. Shouldn't change my role. Right. My role is dad, no matter whether anybody accepts it, agrees with it. I mean, we're blessed to have a family that's accepting, and I understand that could be one of those things you're going, yeah, Justin, really easy to say it, really hard to do it. I am sure that's all hard things. That's all things that are hard. Again, might be hard, might even feel impossible. That's where you need to lean into the Lord and go, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Mm-hmm. I can do this. I can withstand this, and I can be the role that Christ has called me to be because he gave me this scenario, and here I am. The Lord worked this in our lives. And so I truly believe the Lord has given me you, just like he gave Eve to Adam. The Lord has given you to me. He's given you to me. And so now that's my role. That's my responsibility. And that's never going to change.
Yeah. And I just want to speak to the people too. Like you say, oh, easy for you to say, Justin, listen, just because a lot of things are smooth our way. Not everything is smooth our way.
Oh, no.
And me and you have our fair share of arguments and discussions, and I mean, just like anybody else. So
I mean, listen, when she starts cussing, I don't even know.
I don't cuss.
She does not cuss. If she did, I would tell her to stop it, and then she.
But he cusses.
I said.
He said pissed. Mm-hmm. No, for real. Don't take that and think that I'm being serious. I'm not. He does not cuss at all. He's very good. Very, very good. And neither do I. I don't cuss. I mean, I'll say pissed off or, yeah, you've made me feel like it's like.
I know.
I know it's not like sugar, but it's also not acid. Not like the drug acid, babe. Like battery acid.
What were you?
The word pissed. It's not sugar on the lips. I wouldn't say that it's like a sweet word that you're saying.
I thought you were using like pseudo curse words, like you know, like feel like you mess up me, like, oh, sugar, you know, like that. Like I thought you meant like I was like, but then when you said acid, I was like, does she mean? Because it kind of sound, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Stop it.
He's very sheltered.
He is kind of sheltered, though.
It's true.
That's why you have me, you know?
There it is. I knew the Lord gave me you for a reason.
Exactly. Shelter you.
Yeah, something. Hey, guys, we need to cut this thing off. I've got work to do. And
he always has work to do.
Wow.
I know.
Hey, thanks for joining us today on Happy Cast. We'd love to hear from you all. I'm sure, you know, the
majority of you are probably step parents.
Yeah, we didn't ask a lot of questions in this, but I would love to just hear your thoughts and hear from you all. And not an argumentative way, but, you know, you don't feel like you have to argue with us. We're just two people sitting down, giving an opinion and sharing what we're going through.
Right.
Share with what you're going, share what you're going through and share what your thoughts are.
Are you parenting children that were not biologically yours? And, do you have questions for us? Are there complications? Are there triumphs that you could share with us about, something that you went through and that you've gotten through? And, are you called bonus mom or bonus dad? And
I actually like the name bonus.
Yeah.
That one feels better to me. Bonus mom, bonus dad feels better to me than step.
Yeah.
But I'm not even insulted by the idea of step.
I feel like the evil stepmother is what gave that such a bad
I'm sure.
rap.
But like I said, I know people in my life that are sticklers to definitions, and it's like the widower thing.
Right.
I don't, to me, widower, the word doesn't sound
By
right.
the way, when you say going through widowhood, because he's a man, it's not widowerhood. Have you ever heard widowerhood? You haven't. So he is not wrong in saying, when I went through widowhood, that is what you went through.
I've just come to a place I'm like, I'm not bothered when people get all up there like, widow is woman and widower is man. I know that, and I know you're all bothered by the definition. I'm just telling you, when I say the word widower, it sounds like the one who did the widowing.
Yeah.
And so I know that that's not the definition of it. I get it. I don't really care. It doesn't bother me. I'm like, I don't hang my hat on the widower definition in my life. Like that's not that's not a medal to be worn.
Right.
And I don't want to wear it as a medal. And I know some people get confused about that, and you see our content and you're like, well, wait a second. Like, you guys talk about it a lot. Yes. I believe it's a ministry God has allowed me to be in.
Definitely.
There's another pastor right now that's lost his son, and that's a ministry in his future. That's a ministry that he'll be able to lean into.
That's right.
It's not a medal around his neck. And if he could change it, he would. I would have never chosen widowhood as my life. I wouldn't have chosen that, but God put me there, and then he opened up a door for me to minister.
That's right.
And I told you earlier, it's pastor 24/7. And so that's the whole thing for me. It's a ministry. So I'm not trying to wear it as a medal. So because of that, I don't care if people get squirrely about definitions. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But the same way with step, if you're like, the definition is step, so I'm not saying it to be insulting, and I'm not saying it to try to cheapen. I'm saying that's what the person is. I totally get it. Like, if you're that definition well, if I'm gonna be real, if you're that definition Nazi that you're like, it's got to be by the book definitions, fine, that's okay. Like, I'm not saying that there's something wrong with the word step parent. I'm saying that just kind of as a whole, we don't use that terminology because we don't want to view ourselves as something different than mom and dad.
Right.
And
it might be different for the divorced couple because
for
mom
sure.
is still in the picture, dad is still in the picture, but then you have these bonus mom and dad. So
yeah,
it is what it is, to each their own.
That's right. Yeah. The whole point was not about stepdad. The whole point was saying you shouldn't celebrate him in Father's Day.
Yes.
Because he's not a real dad.
Right.
And I would say I disagree. You
want to play house?
Yeah. Like you should have. Hey, you know what? Here's one more plug for you though. This is the reason why you really ought to consider getting some good premarital counseling before you get married.
That's right.
So that you can go over these things and discuss these things before you say I do and put a ring on a finger and make a promise and make a covenant.
Which, by the way, we're doing premarital counseling together and in the future together.
Yep.
I feel like there is such a huge blessing to having a woman and a man, especially that have gone through all the seasons that we've gone through together, that can come together. Because I do feel like, in my opinion, it could be off-putting for a guy and a girl who are getting ready to be married and you're just getting the guy's advice, which he's got great biblical wisdom. And I think that the Lord blessed the man with that, and the woman tends to run on emotion. But there is a perspective that I can bring that can say, well, this is how I feel when that happens. And it can be, talked about and gone through. So.
Yeah. Oh, there's such a blessing. The Lord put the two of us together because we strengthen each other. For
sure.
So it strengthens that. That's one more thing that it strengthens.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a positive note. Let's end there.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Thanks for joining us. We love you guys. See y'all next week.
Happy chaos. That's our song. Loud and wild. But where we belong. Life's a sermon. Love's the verse. Blessings big and a little reverse. Happy chaos. Yeah, bring it on.